Bruce.
The most iconic name in martial arts, Bruce Lee. And he hated traditional martial arts. He called them the classical mess.
Bruce.
The most iconic martial artist in the DC Comics universe, Batman, a master of 127 styles. If you want to get into a fight online, look no further than the comment section of any YouTube video suggesting that Bruce Lee was anything short of a demigod. And if you want to rile up the comic book nerds, just tell them that any other character could beat Batman in a fight. Bruce had a grand total of 5 years of formal training in traditional martial arts. And before donning the Batsuit for the first time, Bruce Wayne spent 12 years training with the world's greatest fighting masters. Bruce Lee said of the fancy mess of traditional martial arts, "You saw the Tai Chi, the self-defense. Well, I hate to tell you this. If I were there, we were so embarrassed," Lee said. Joe Frazier is a man who is capable of using his tools, and who is very determined in his savage, relentless attacks. Whereas those sons are cowards, turning their heads and swinging their punches. After the second round, they're out of breath. I mean, they're really pathetic looking, very amateur. I mean, before they contact each other, they do all these fancy stances and all the fancy movement. The minute they contact, they just don't know what to do. They slip and they fell on their ass. Batman said, "I won this fight before you even turned up." And who is going to show up first to argue with you defending Bruce Lee's honor? Traditional martial artists, that's who. The very people that Lee ridiculed and mocked. So why is it that the very people who represent the crystallization or the stagnation of martial arts, according to Bruce Lee, when it becomes a style or a dogma, why is it that these are the guys who want Bruce Lee to be their Lord and Savior more than anyone else? I've made a few videos myself debunking popular Bruce Lee myths and voicing my opinion when asked questions about who would win in a fight, Bruce Lee or fill in the blank with any given heavyweight combat sports world champions. And I was immediately excommunicated from the Church of Jeet Kune Do.
You have offended my family, and you have offended the Shaolin Temple.
What would happen if Bruce Lee fought Muhammad Ali? How about Mike Tyson? What about other martial arts actors like Jean-Claude Van Damme, Jackie Chan, Michael Jai White, Jet Li, Steven Seagal? While we're at it, why not Batman? Yes, the Batman. Seriously, why not? The deified, untouchable version of Bruce Lee in the minds of the fanatics is as much of a fictional character as the Dark Knight himself. So why shouldn't we break this fight down? But Ramsey, take this seriously. Bruce was the national boxing champion of Hong Kong. No. Bruce did a single schoolboy boxing match at his high school against another boy, where he won his first and only boxing match ever, via decision after 2 one-minute rounds of questionable-looking fisticuffs. Look, there are pictures. Look, they exist. But Bruce Lee could make an 800-pound heavy bag explode with one kick. And yet here we have footage of Bruce Lee kicking his 64-pound heavy bag. Nice kicks, yet no exploding punching bag. Settle down, superfans. But Bruce Lee could kill anyone with the 1-inch punch. Look, if Bruce Lee ever killed anyone, it was one of the greatest unreported Hollywood scandals of all time.
But my hands are registered as lethal weapons. That means we get into a fight, I accidentally kill you, I go to jail.
Anybody accidentally kills anybody in a fight, they go to jail. It's called manslaughter.
In short, the fanatic worshippers in the Bruce Lee cult have turned the man into something straight out of a comic book.
Man, you come right out of a comic book.
In the comic books, Batman always finds a way to win. Because he's Batman. He has brains, he has brawn, he has unlimited resources. And most importantly, Batman has a hero's plot armor. Even if he's up against characters with godlike powers, such as Superman, Doomsday, or Darkseid, the Caped Crusader will find a way to win. But, according to the official doctrine of the Church of Jeet Kune Do, Bruce Lee not only had superhuman powers and techniques second to none, Mr. Lee had the same protagonist's plot armor in real life as Batman. No matter the size, the strength, or the skill of his opponents, Bruce would find a way to finger jab and kick out the knees of his adversaries, because he trained for the streets, yo!
I do this stuff for the street. I do this stuff for the street. I do this
Give it up
for the
for
street.
Master
For the street. For the street. For the street.
Let's visit the neighborhood of make-believe together for just a moment. It's a fun place to visit, but you really, really don't want to live there. And find out what happens when the unstoppable force meets the immovable object. Batman versus Bruce Lee. Why do we deify cultural icons? Where does the compulsion for hero worship, or even idolatry, come from? It's innate, you could say, inside of us, the compulsion to worship, to look outside of ourselves for a greater purpose and meaning. Bruce was a special guy, with a unique kind of charisma, who made us all feel special too. He made us all want to learn Kung Fu and beat up our childhood bullies once and for all. Batman was a cultural icon that made scared little boys feel like they could be brave by facing their deepest fears head on. Batman taught us that we don't need superpowers to be heroic. We need to get out there and train, and study, and work. He helped us understand that a complete man is physically fit and mentally sharp. So in a way, it's incredibly sad to see these two inspirational icons fight each other, but in the end, there can be only one.
Why'd you make me do this, guys? Now Batman's dead. Look what you made me do. Look what you made Bruce Lee do. Come on. Are any of us happy with this result?
Well, that just happened, didn't it? Batman versus Bruce Lee, gotta love it. I've been working on this video for a very long time. Jordan Chow and I, we filmed the principal photography of the Bruce Lee versus Batman fight over the summer. And it was hot, man. It was hot here in this city of Shanghai over the summer. So you might notice the Batsuit was getting sweat stains under the arms and on the chest. And they just kept growing and growing with every scene until the whole suit was a giant sweat stain at the very end. Man, it was hot. So I've been working on this for a very long time. I do all my video editing. I make all the music that I use myself in my YouTube videos, and this one took a long time. In the time it took me to make this, I could have made a couple dozen talking head videos or one-take technique videos over at the gym, which I enjoy doing a lot, but I like this stuff too. But if you don't, I'd rather put my time where it's appreciated. So like it, share it, click buttons, whatever, but show some appreciation if you like this content. If you hate this content, I have a few words to say. If you find yourself getting angry at the message because you think, man, Ramsey's a Bruce Lee hater. Why does Ramsey hate Bruce Lee? To the contrary. I love Bruce Lee, but I hate idolatry. I hate all the idolatry built up around the man. I joked about the Church of Jeet Kune Do and getting excommunicated from the Church of Jeet Kune Do in this video a little bit. But there's a lot of truth to that. There is a cult built up around this man, around the idealized version of this man, the fictional superhero version of Bruce Lee. And it's weird, man. It's weird. You ever hear that expression, so-and-so must be rolling over in their graves now that people are saying this about him or believing that about him? And I think Bruce Lee is either rolling over in his grave or laughing hysterically in heaven at some of the crazy antics that go on in his name. Man, you ever read this book, a collection of notes put together post-mortem? The Tao of Jeet Kune Do. Bunch of Bruce Lee's philosophy and notes and so on. And the very last thing, which I quoted in this video, I love it. It's my favorite quote from this book. If people say Jeet Kune Do is different from this or from that, then let the name of Jeet Kune Do be wiped out. For that is what it is. Just a name. Please don't fuss over it. Let's appreciate the man. Let's honor the man. Let's not worship the man like some kind of false god. He's not Batman. Neither are you. He's not a fictional comic book character. He was a real guy who really lived and did some real stuff. Man, just like you. One of the best ways to honor our predecessors is to build upon the foundations that they left behind. Bruce Lee had some great ideas about martial arts and training and innovation. Was he perfect? Heck no. But he laid a pretty decent foundation for us to build upon. Every teacher hopes that their students will surpass them, will be greater than they ever dreamed of being themselves. That's what I want for my students. That's what I want for the athletes, the fighters that I coach. I want them to be better. I want their careers to far surpass mine. Obviously, man. Obviously. Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't Bruce Lee want that for you? Why would he write this stuff down if he didn't hope that somebody would read it and benefit and maybe think, hey, I got a better idea. Let's improve on that. So screw your idolatry. That's not hate. That's love, man. That is love. Thank you for watching. Now get out there and train.